Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood After Dark, episode 36. Today, of course, is July 28th, 2021. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but most importantly, why Netflix is king and why you can't effing deny it. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show tonight. I've been looking forward to talking about this one all day because I really like Netflix, by the way. I think that they are a fantastic company. Not everything they do is wonderful, but I think they put out a lot of very interesting stuff. And as Annie and I were discussing before going live tonight, they are at least the ones that take risks.
Yeah, you aren't going to get that shit out of Disney. You're not going to get that shit out of Disney.
You're not going to get something like Sex Party out of Disney.
No.
You know, you're not going to get something like that. Apparently, like, is like, except I haven't watched it, but I've seen enough floating around Reddit for like on the Watch It for the Plot subreddit where it's like, here's this one girl in sex life, and it's just like, or Sex Party or whatever the hell it's called, sex something or another, and it's just all the way through. It's just nothing but like, you know, nudity, and I'm like, all right. I mean, like, yeah, I can watch this on silent. I don't know what's going on, but it's quality.
Jesus Christ.
But apparently at one point, like, she's like, there's like, I guess she like actually has a scene with like her real life boyfriend in this thing. And I don't know the context. I just saw that floating around Reddit. So I thought to myself, like, wait, like, was it her boyfriend before production or was it her boyfriend after production? Because if this is a show where the main character is like having multiple sex scenes with different partners, and then in the show, she actually ends up like having to have one with her real life partner. I mean, like, that just feels awkward because I just kind of feel like intimacy goes out the window at that point. And what happens if, like, because they've been physically intimate together and they've been, you know, a couple for a while. Like, what if they're going through the motions and like the dude's like, his body's like, yeah, because, you know, there's that connection. And all of a sudden the dude's loincloth just starts lifting up and everyone's like, whoa, hold on, we got a boner.
These are questions that are only asked on a show like this.
These are questions that I like to ask, that I like to ask myself at night. Because quite frankly, I'm probably a very demented individual, and that is, you know, that is why people come to the show. And so
exactly.
let me just share with you guys some other demented individuals. These are the channel members here, totally putting them on the spot, which is totally fine. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you want to get in on this list, the best way to do that is to become a channel member, link below. Also, if you want to just help out but don't feel like putting in that kind of commitment, you can always head over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. This image will be better here very soon. And then check it out over there. Link also in the video description. And then I am going to be giving away a Life magazine, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark at 40 years at Dr. Jones. It's a great little magazine. You guys can get entered into that 3 more days, whatever, how long the rest of the month is. Super chat, channel member, Patreon. You guys can get in on that action there. And that's my shilling for the day. Some people take 30 minutes. I take 30 seconds. Wait, that's not the best thing to say. I can make fun of myself. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, you have a habit of doing that. It's good though, you know. You got to be better at doing that shit than anyone else. That's how it is on the internet. If you're not your own biggest fucking critic, then someone else will be. And you know that. Yeah.
Well, according to One Step Too Far here, he says he just finished your dance off of Star-Lord. Nice. That's pretty good. James C here says, "Good day from Sydney. Hope you well, mate." I'm doing well. I don't know why I went into the good day. That's not a knife. That's a knife. That's not a knife. That's a spoon. I say you played knifey spoony before.
Well, hey, no American says good day. Not like that.
Good day. I would love to be able to like speak with a fluent Australian accent. Like, that is what I would love. I always fuck it up and it ends up going to being like in New Zealand, you know?
Yeah.
Like ever watch Flight of the Conchords? I think Rhys Darby is his name. And he's just like, Britt. Hello, Britt. You here, Britt? Hi. How are you? Yeah. He's on Bob's Burgers as like this exchange student. And there's a whole episode with like Tina and she's just like obsessed with his ankles. And he's like, oh, I got my boaties. I don't wear shoes. I don't wear socks with my boaties. And like they make a comment about like his chest hair. It's like, oh, my chest hair. I got one of them here. One chest hair. It's just like, it's like, what the hell? And he also plays the bad guy in Boss Baby season 3.
Oh my god! Of course you bring up the boss baby.
He's the Babylist in season 3 of Boss Baby. A bit more sinister, bit more sinister than his character Murray on Flight of the Conchords, or appearing. And I think he was in like Jumanji, the new Jumanji movies, as like one of the tour guides. I don't know. I haven't seen those movies, but I know he was in it. But that, of course, is my attempt at New Zealand. Anyway, let's see here. McLeod with a $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you. Says here, people, broflakes.
Broflakes.
I love that. It says here that they're really hating Kevin Smith right now at the first 5 episodes of Masters of the Universe. It's bro culture at its pathetically broiest. That's, that is definitely something that is true. Now, it actually ties into something I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to ultimately put it as like a monologue at the beginning, like, as I start to try to figure out how to make this show like more structured and organized, because I'm terrible at that. I thought, like, what do all these celebrities do, right? What do all these late night shows do? They have a monologue, right? They always got that opening monologue. Well, I was thinking about anti-intellectualism in the woke culture, in the culture war. And how much of the culture war is simply just predicated on pure, diluted anti-intellectualism. And it's not even like it's that hot of a topic, because if you pay attention to people like these broflakes that McLeod is talking about here, that they really hate on Kevin Smith for Masters of the Universe, you really start to and if you look at their arguments are genuinely anti-intellectual. Like they're not paying attention to like the core aspect of the character. They are completely disregarding any nuance for what is being written in relation to what has come before it, or they're just stupid. And I know that's like brunt to say, but it's like, look, think of it like this, right? Have you watched Masters of the Universe yet, Annie?
I've not checked it out.
All right, you should. It's really good. And a lot of people are just like, oh, it ain't my Tila. Hashtag not my Tila. Ah, right? Or in the case of Mad Max the Mandalorian, he just brought up an image of She-Ra cosplay and thought that it was Tila. Boomers trying to internet, maybe. I don't know. But there was a good little point on his show tonight where a guy named Darth Lunga made a comment saying, look, there were like 200 episodes came before these 5, which is close enough. It was about 130 episodes came before these 5. And so this was really episode 131. It's continuing the story from where it left off all the way back in 1985. So 36 damn years ago is where this show picks up from. So it's picking up from the lore and the narrative that was set back in 1985. And let me ask you this. How many of the people do you think are going out there and they're clapping their hands like barking fucking circus seals, whining about how it's woke and it's all, how we're alive in the early 1980s, or at least the late 1970s, to be to remember watching Masters of the Universe and He-Man when they were a kid?
The matter of fact is that there's going to be some people who will always criticize shit like this, because there's just an entire group of people with a financial incentive to do so, to wake up every single day and be outraged about something. And the matter of fact is that these people, they're going to find something to nitpick about almost anything unless it's nearly perfect, or even if in some cases it is pretty close to perfect, they'll find one thing to nitpick about and make that the entire, like, they'll basically put the entire worth of that into the one flaw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the internet's turned into.
Well, and that's exactly what the people who have been going after He-Man and Kevin Smith have been effectively trying to do. They find something about it that they don't like, and then they harp on it, and 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 then anything else that they can also find that maybe is a flaw, because let's be fair, quite frankly, nothing out there is ever perfect. Nothing out there is ever going to be something that is going to be 10 out of 10 amazing for everybody. There's always going to be flaws. But to take it and to act as intellectually dishonest as they are, and as anti-intellectual as many of them are, because they're operating from a place of feeling rather than even, I don't know, a well-informed fact, right? Like a well-informed opinion is not something that they have. See, here's the thing is, I was born in 1982, so by the time He-Man ran through its 130 episode 2 seasons,
Jesus.
I was 3. Right? And I'm almost fucking 40, dude. So are you telling me that people like Geeks and Gamers and that Star Wars girl, they're all fucking younger than me, right? They're all younger than me. I
They don't
think that
give two
Star Wars
fucks
girl's like,
about He-Man.
they don't care. They didn't grow up with it. They don't give a shit. To them, it could be fucking, Papa Smurf and whatever. It doesn't matter to them. None of this ever matters. That's why when I talk about the anti-intellectualism, it has everything to do with the motive of the people involved. It is like they are like the anti-vaxxers of everything. You know what I mean? Like everything is, they get all their information from a small group of people who are high on their own farts. They spread it around social media. They spread it around Facebook and Instagram, and they do everything they can to influence negative thought through misinformation, and in many instances, outright disinformation that is based around all anti-intellectualism. That's what it boils down to. None of these people, what they are good at, and I will grant them this, what they are good at are getting other people to believe their bullshit.
Yep, rallying a base. That's what they're really good at.
Yeah, and that's the craziest part about that too, is like what they do is they act like they're the victims constantly, and then they get all of these people to also act and feel like they're a fucking victim. And it's just not the case. Like they're not actual victims. As they say here, as McLeod says, they're broflakes. They're not actual upset. They don't care. This doesn't impact their life in any way. They didn't grow up with this particular show. They have no care about the arc of these characters. All they care about is, why is a woman touching a sword and not being in the kitchen where she belongs, according to them? That's my hot take on their opinion. And why isn't a white guy in the lead?
I mean, it's just like with the fucking Predator news that we got yesterday, right? I mean, there's just going to be some people who sadly, unfortunately, if they hear female protagonist, their mind's instantly going to go to, oh, this is just SJW propaganda.
Yeah, never mind how many science fiction action franchises from the 70s and 80s and even 90s and 2000s have been led by a female actress.
And not to mention, as you've iterated before, like, that character's not even the main character of the show. He-Man is the main character, as far as I'm aware. It's just, like, the first 2 episodes are mostly focused on her, which is fine. Like, you want the entire main cast to feel important in a show and get their time in the limelight and serve a purpose, right? I mean, back in the 80s cartoon, sure, there were fucking characters that were literally just made for toys with blanket fucking cookie cutter personalities. But these days, if you're going to adapt something like that into the modern day, you have to give them personalities. All those characters should be fleshed out and serve a purpose, work off each other, right?
Well, and that's kind of, and you're very, very right on that. What cracks me up though is that, again, when it comes to something like He-Man, people are looking for any reason to attack it. So I did my video the other day saying why I think it's good, and I laid out it was an off the cuff rant, but I laid out what I felt the show did very well at. Someone today commented on it, and it's another YouTuber. I think he's got like around 20,000 subs, and apparently I found this out later on. He did a 1 hour and 40-minute live stream response to my rant, like just to attack my thoughts on Masters of the Universe. And I was laughing. I'm like, that's dedication. I might spend 10 minutes laughing about it, but I'm not going to sit there and watch the video. I'm not going to sit there because I don't care. I don't really care what the guy has to say. I looked at his Twitter feed, and it's all the same kind of, anti-intellectual nonsense. It's the same kind of bullshit. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with that, because a lot of these people, they can never actually come up with a decent enough argument to make me, to actually engage in something that is of good faith and not bad faith. If you ever listen to any of these people when they bring, and it's not just He-Man. This applies to Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who and James Bond. I mean,
everything.
There was a leak that had come out about the new Bond movie, and I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently, Bond had a kid. I don't know. That's the leak. I don't believe half these anymore. But like one of those guys went out there and he was just like, "Oh, Bond has gone woke."
What?
Bond has gone woke. I'm like, because Bond had a kid? And that's the thing. Any kind of fundamental change to these characters, it's like a very kind of odd sustained adolescence where they never actually want to engage with these characters in any other kind of fashion than what they remember when they were kids. It's very similar to the current right-wing aspect, that idea of going backwards in time to the 1950s. Because you'll hear boomers talk about that, right?
Yeah, and that's the ironic thing about it, right? Is like they're so against James Bond having a child. Imagine like being so unable to get pussy that you need to consider having a child, like getting woke.
Well,
That's
yeah.
really fucking sad.
You
Like,
had a kid? Oh, dude, you got cucked, dog.
oh
You
my
had a kid.
god,
Oh,
yeah.
you're so cucked. You're so cucked
Wait,
right
you have
now.
a wife? Wow, what a simp.
Whoa, yeah, whoa, man. You got yeah, like holy shit. And then even about that now, TW here says, take into a consideration that in the books Bond had a kid. You know what I mean? And that's true.
Okay.
Like that's true. Like I mean, these characters do ultimately evolve. You don't want these characters to stay over, to stay the
Especially
same forever.
James Bond is meant to be interpreted. He's like meant to be interpreted different ways by different actors who give their own takes and different directors and all that shit. That's the appeal of fucking James Bond. I'm pretty sure there's been a female James Bond at this point, right? Didn't they do that at some point?
No, no, no. And there will never, I'll tell you this right now, there will never be a female James Bond. There will never be a black or Latino or Asian James Bond. It will always be a white British guy. And that has everything to do with the family that is in charge of it, the Broccolis.
I mean, I don't know. It definitely has to be a British person, but you really think like it has to be like a white dude? I don't know. Like,
I mean, look, this will be a hot take, but I kind of stand for that. I stand for that. Now at the same time, 006 and 008 can be whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Like you can retire James Bond, and 007 can be replaced with a black woman, which is what's going on in the No Time to Die movie, right? Lashana
okay.
Lynch.
Okay,
I have no issue with that whatsoever. In fact, I think Lashana Lynch, from what I've seen in the trailers, like she's gonna like light shit up. It's gonna be cool.
I misspoke. I actually
yeah,
meant, like,
no. I get
007.
I get it. I totally get it. But it's like when it comes to the character of James Bond, it's like a white British male. That's it. And it can be it's a personification of that identity, but that is the identity Ian Fleming created. Think Archer. Sterling Archer was based, the character model of Sterling Archer from the TV show is based on what James Bond looked like in the early Ian Fleming novels. And so that is one of the reasons why it's like, yeah, this is what the author intended. Like with Tolkien intended things, through that lens to kind of be a certain way, and they're adapting it and they're adding in more diversity for character casting. And like, that's fine with me. I don't have an issue with any of that because those aren't like main characters. It'd be like, if it's like when you have main characters and they have a very certain look to them. I understand keeping that look the same, but there's nothing to say about giving them personality or expanding upon other aspects of that, Like, I think if it's done for the sake of the story, it's generally fine. When something is just done in order to check a box, that's kind of where I have my own issues with it. Like, that's where, you can see that sometimes in certain things, but I try to not let it influence my thought process before I watch it at this point. That makes sense?
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. I also do think it's really important to, if you're going to do that whole passing on a mantle thing, to do it with the utmost respect possible. That's why I really like that Marvel decided to do like a full limited series for Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, because I really feel like that series sold a lot more people on that idea. At least,
yeah. And I never had a problem at all with a black Captain America or nothing like that.
Well, neither did I, but that series
yeah.
made me even more enthusiastic about it.
Well,
because
you get to see it. Because you get to see it. Like, that's the whole thing. This is what happens, like, and to kind of like pivot off of that, but to talk about, like, let's say LGBT representation, right? As much as I'm for LGBT representation, where we are as a society right now, especially in media, stop making it a big deal. Because if you want it to be treated as normal, then treat it as normal. Because guess what? It is normal. So treat it that way. If you treat it that way, then no one has a reason to sit there and go, wait, why are they getting special treatment? Because no one is getting special treatment. Everyone's treated the same. And I think you will find that in those instances, you will have more people kind of open their mind to that if they were ever something that were maybe against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very important that the portrayal in media is like done smartly. You know what I mean?
Smart, but yeah, and it's smartly in many instances is just treated as if it's a day-to-day thing.
Yep. No,
because
you're right.
somehow just treating life as it exists as we know it right now is considered like that is the taboo thing. It's so weird.
That means a company resisting the urge to go up on social media and being like, our first black protagonist in this genre or whatever. Like,
or June 1st to June 30th, man. You know, like
Oh yeah.
all the social media avatars change and
We just
everyone
got
makes
over
this.
that shit.
I
So.
know, and then everyone makes the same joke. July 1st rolls around, everything rolls back to normal. Rainbows are nowhere to be found, and everyone just moves on. It's a joke now. It's a joke. All of this kind of acting and all these actions from these companies who are just doing it to try to score easy social media points in order to push a product. That's really about it, and that is an issue when it comes to the representation of media, because a lot of the times, the media is the reason why people think the way that they do. I mean, look at you can argue that when it comes going back to the anti-intellectual thing, when you look at people like Nerdrotic and Doomcock and Geeks and Gamers and the Fandom Menace, and not just them, but a wide variety of other people that always attack it from this anti-intellectual stance, are always doing it strictly to keep people ignorant and to keep them ill-informed, so they don't actually go out and look at things through a neutral lens or an objective lens or even a creative lens to think of things a different perspective. It's always, wait a minute, why is this thing changing? Change frightens me. And since ultimately in our lives, change frightens everybody. Like when the night my daughter was born, or I should say the night we went to the hospital, when my first daughter was being born, I put out a video on Twitter. I was nervous. I was just kind of talking through my anxiety. I was 35. I'd never been a dad before. I didn't know if I was going to fuck it up. None of that shit. I didn't know any of that.
Oh yeah.
And then, but also like Star Wars: The Last Jedi was opening up the next week. And I think I made a comment about like, I mean, what if I miss Star Wars? And someone's like, they got on me about that. They're like, oh, but like, you're just, you're a selfish piece of shit because you would rather go see Star Wars, or you're afraid you're going to miss Star Wars than being with your family. And it's like, but this is a life-changing thing. Don't you think I'm fucking scared? Like, don't you think I'm going to try to hold on to something that is going to bring me comfort? That, of course, being a Star Wars movie. It's not to say that I'm not going to, look after my kid. I totally did and still do to this day, because my daughter is awesome. Both my daughters are awesome. And it's not like I don't do any of that kind of stuff, but it's like in those moments we get scared because change is inevitable. You can never stop a moving river.
Exactly.
Right. And so, but all of these people, they live in that world. They live in that fear of actually just going out and like letting life change them, letting new experiences, and that part to me becomes the most bothersome, is because what they do is they pander to this audience of people that want to also live in this shell. And they never want to come out of their cave. They just want to live there in abject fear of reality.
Yeah,
because
exactly. There's the people who want to be afraid. It's weird because some of these people, it feels like they want that feeling of, oh, the government's out for me. These people are out for me. Everything's a conspiracy to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of mindset that leads to that type of thinking. It's sad but true.
It really is. It really, really is. And it's just one of those things where, it after all these years of looking at it, you just kind of go, man, like what the fuck is everyone on about? It's just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my opening rant. I guess you could say
Your
that's
opening rant.
my opening monologue. And I think it's an interesting intellectually based, I think it's an interesting point because we deal with this all the time. So I'm going to put it to you guys who are watching this live. Right now, there's 60 of you guys in here right now. Thank you all very much. Please hit that like. If you're listening on the VOD, I really want to hear your thoughts on this. I really want to hear your opinions. I'm going to get the voicemail line situated, probably have it back up on Friday, since tomorrow I'll be seeing Suicide Squad. I don't know if I'll be home in time to go live. I might not go live until around like midnight my time, because the movie starts at 7:30 and I don't even know how long it is, like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere in there. And then I have to drive the 70 miles to get home.
70 miles.
70 miles, man. 70. Listen. It's fucking Suicide Squad, okay? Like, there's been so much bullshit going on. With the Snyder Cut fandom and like attacking James Gunn. Like, I just want to support James Gunn at this point.
Yeah,
like, that's where I'm at with
I
it.
love James Gunn. I'm not gonna fucking drive 70 miles for him, but I love his movies. I hope that this one's gonna be great. I'm sure it will be.
Oh, it will definitely. I'm looking for it. And plus, it's also right now the reviews are kind of through the roof for it. I think it's let me take a quick look here at the Rotten Tomato score, because I keep seeing it was hyped up today as being like at 100% based off of not many reviews. Right now it's at 98% based off of 62 reviews. And let me bring up here the image so you guys can see it yourself, so you guys know that I'm not lying. Although, why would I over this? But it does say that out of that 98%, the critical consensus is that envy or enlivened by writer-director James Gunn's singularly skewed vision, The Suicide Squad marks a funny, fast-paced rebound that plays to the source material's violent, anarchic. That's Jesus. That's a fucking $12 word. Strengths. And
oh no, I think it's anarchic. Like
anarchy.
Like, yeah, I think like from like I think that's based on like. Let me check. I don't want to.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it's like I mean I'm getting like yeah I get it. It's anarchy. I get it. But a lot of people out there I think are going to really enjoy this movie, even though it is it's looking to not come out and hit as much as, let's say, the original, because I think the original pulled in the like 130 million in its opening weekend, right, back in 2016. And this one's not going to do that. This one is not going to pull in that kind of cash. And a lot of people are kind of like, using it as a weapon, saying, oh, well, this means that it's not going to be as good as David Ayer's movie. Where's the Ayer cut? Why aren't we getting the Ayer cut? And they're attacking people who want to see this movie. Like I criticized the other day the whole thing with a guy I know running a live stream where he was talking about how James Gunn was a plant from Marvel, that Marvel, Kevin Feige, Bob Iger, and James Gunn had basically plotted to release those messages, right, to put them out there as a way to fire James Gunn, to get God. James Gunn hired by DC to come on in and to usurp DC from the inside out.
And make the films better?
I guess. I don't know. I like Zack Snyder's films, and I like pretty much most of them except for one.
Yeah, but he hasn't really had a hold on the DCEU for years at this point. Like,
yeah, since 2016 when BVS came out.
Yeah, so, basically. Yeah. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. Like,
well, but then this same guy sent me a DM a couple of days ago, and he's all like, he points to an interview James Gunn gave, where James Gunn was like, yeah, I'd like to do a Harley Quinn Groot movie. And he says, I've actually talked to the heads of Marvel and DC about that. And he's like, see, I'm not just making shit up. And I'm like, dude, come on. If you can't see that is sarcasm, like, that's sarcasm.
Yeah, it seems like a joke, obviously.
Yeah, like, you really, I mean, come on. For one, there's no way that Bob Iger or Bob Chapek or Alan Horn or Kevin Feige would ever allow that to happen, because the brand is too important to Disney. DC would probably totally be down to let it happen, because fuck it, what do they have to lose at this point?
I think if both companies were doing well, it could be possible, because they've done it in comics before, and it would be like a huge money maker. But I don't know, even then there's probably too many butting heads that would occur, even if a lot of money could be made.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. But let me get to this one. This $10 Canadian super chat from McLeod. Thank you so much, man. Says this all, going back to the anti-intellectual thing about Kevin Smith. It's all these Tyrone Magnus types being like woke bad. Kevin Smith is a woke shill. They killed off favorite male character in favor of getting woke points. Get bent. Rolling eyes, middle finger emoji. And the thing is, you're not wrong. I mean, as we've learned, Tyrone Magnus is an idiot. If anyone here happens to be a fan of Tyrone Magnus, let me just quickly reiterate, he's a fucking moron. Someone floated like fake, false Snyder information a while back, and he ran a video on it, and like without even remotely checking sources or nothing, because that's what I'm talking about. People that are so quick to be first, they never actually want to stop to see if they're right, and that's a big problem here. But yeah, a lot of people out there just running their mouth over stuff. They don't know anything about anything. You could sit there and start breaking down, like ask them character motivations and story arcs and stuff, and then they would look at you like they were just, bludgeoned with a hammer. It would just be like they got lobotomies. That's what it would be.
I've got a question for you, Matt. Why do all these like types of people Why do they all have like super villain names? You know what I mean? They all have fucking super villain names.
Like Tyrone Magnus?
That sounds like a goddamn super villain name.
It sounds like a wannabe superhero name. You know, like, I mean, like, he's like, hi, everyone, I'm Tyrone Magnus. Like, what's your superpower, Mr. Magnus? I'm going to react to crime. Wait, what does that mean? I'm going to stand by and watch it happen. And then I'm going to look at it, you know, endearingly, or maybe confused, or possibly angry. And you don't want to see me get angry. Well, why don't we want to see you get angry, Mr. Magnus? What happens then? Nothing. But I get to make a video on it, and I get paid.
Damn.
Like, because that's... I mean, like, to the guy's credit, I guess, he's done more.
You guess.
I guess, like, he's done in recent years, ever since Grade A Under A came out in 2016 and just started attacking.
Oh, wait, he exists? Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he still exists, but he can't. Well, this is 5 years ago. He came out and he attacked the reaction community. And back then, that got the attention of, like, Susan Wojcicki and other people at YouTube. And then the reaction community, they reacted. They reacted silently, obviously. You know, again, with furrowed brows and serious, gazes in their eyes, but without really uttering a word of protest. But the thing is, like, at that point, YouTube kneecapped reaction channels. They got kneecapped like a motherfucker, and they just ended up, like, you know, Tyrone now just goes, like, watches movie trailers and shit, and that's fine, but he's still an idiot.
Tyrone Magnus.
I'm surprised you don't know that name. I'm really surprised you don't know that name.
Oh my god, it's cringe. Is that actual person's name at least?
I don't know. I don't think this is his real name. I don't know what his name is. I'm sure someone can Google it and find out. So let's see here. Another $10 Canadian super chat from McLeod says the problem is that even LGBTQA2 plus representation is treated normal. Is still going to be trashed by the anti-SJW woke a-holes in order to change the narrative and instill more prejudice and fear.
Wait, what's the two?
Oh, Two-Spirit.
I'm sorry. Excuse me? No, I don't want to know. Moving on.
It's actually more of an indigenous thing. It's more of an indigenous person's, like, they feel they're Two-Spirit, like they are. I think they're a spirit with an animal.
Okay. No, I've got a legitimate question. Is this a joke?
No, dude. No, man. Like, this is like. I mean,
Matt, I need you to be serious with me.
Oh fuck! I'm not. No, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I'm really not making this up. Two-Spirit, dude. No, hold on. I mean, like, really?
I'm gonna.
You're gonna regret this.
I'm gonna reserve my judgment.
I'm just saying, it's like, this is the thing.
I've never heard of this before.
How have you never heard of Two-Spirit?
I just got used to the plus. I was just getting used to the plus, man.
I don't even really know what the plus stands for these days, to be honest with you. But maybe 2 plus. I think the plus is also part of the 2 plus. I think that's what it is. Like, that's the Two-Spirit.
Wait, are we doing, like, mathematics? Come on.
Maybe. So according to Urban Dictionary here, Two-Spirit is a gender identity. If someone is two-spirited, their body it simultaneously houses both a masculine spirit and a feminine spirit.
All right.
This idea originated with Native Americans and can also mean they fulfill both gender roles.
I feel like there's multiple other labels which already exist, which could quantify that same sort of thing. And look, the point of the plus, I know this for a fact. The point of the plus is just supposed to be for everyone else, because there's only so many things that you can include, right, before it gets to be the point where it's just
I kind of feel it's more like atheism plus or feminism plus. Remember that?
No, don't say it. No.
I kind of like, that's my interpretation. Those are both terrible. But I don't know what.
Okay. Matt, would you rather have a bunch more letters and numbers added on, or just like the plus? Because I'm fine with the plus.
Yeah, you're right. So the plus, according to the internet, to the Google machine, represents other sexual identities, including pansexual and Two-Spirit.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Hold on. 2 plus. Okay, so 2 plus in the why are we even talking about this? Is an abbreviation that stands. And Two-Spirited. That's the 2 plus. Yeah. Oh, sorry, the 2. The plus sign signifies a number of other identities and is included to keep the abbreviation brief when written out.
Exactly.
So the full abbreviation now, according to this thing, is LGBTTTQQIAA.
Okay, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I refuse to believe
I
that.
don't. I'm straight and I just work here. So you know what? I think the LGBT plus is fine with me.
The plus.
And so it just, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. All right, let me just a couple more super chats to get to here because there's a few of them to get to. All right, let me just make sure I got this one. Okay, so Shiny 311, $7. Thank you very much. Says here's the full $5 times 30% equals $4.99. Well, almost five. So because YouTube takes out their 30%, that's their pound of flesh, which really sucks. Which is why Patreon.com/Matt Jarbo is a great way to help out. And then another $5 from Shiny says, crap, my math is wrong. It's 7 times 30%. So that's okay, Shiny. I appreciate you anyway. Thank you so much. And it's all crazy stuff there. And then I saw another one down here. Rational Skeptic, $2 says, hey, Matt, how come Jared Leto isn't in the new Suicide Squad? Have they officially addressed why Leto isn't in the movie? I really think it's because Leto just kind of, because of the other Joker, from my honest opinion.
He wasn't in Birds of Prey.
Well, he was mentioned in Birds of Prey. They broke up.
Yeah, but they
broke up.
intentionally so why do you think that they would? I'm pretty sure they're just going to leave that hanging.
Yeah, we're not going to get any more Jared Leto, which is unfortunate because I liked him.
Well, Harley Quinn, especially these days, they're making it, especially with the show, right? They're making her independent from the Joker, like her own character. She doesn't have to rely on the Joker all the time. I kind of like that. I don't know. I feel like I kind of miss that at the same time, but at least it's something new for the character. It's a new direction, and I don't mind it all that much.
I mean, I get that, but I also like the Joker dynamic. I think the Joker, too. I think Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad was probably one of the more dynamic characters. I mean, there's a reason why 5 years later people are going like, I want more Joker. I don't want more King Croc or Killer Croc. You know, I don't want more of no one's clamoring for a Captain Boomerang movie. No one's asking for a Randall Flagg movie, or Captain Flagg. Randall Flagg is
Rick Flag.
Rick Flag. Randall Flagg is from The Stand. Stephen
I
King
like
character.
both of those characters, but they couldn't have their own solo movies or anything. Like they're most fit in the Suicide Squad films.
And I just think the dynamic of the Joker and Harley and everything else that happened in David Ayer's movie is great, and I want to see more of that. And I would love to think that after this movie comes out, then people will start really pushing to get their hands on the
Ayer cut.
The Ayer cut. I'm hoping we get it. I'm hoping we get it.
I wish people would focus their energy to that because it's a lot more feasible.
They are on the 5th. They are going to be doing this massive, Twitter blitz to get it trending and to get to take it out and make sure people are aware that, it's, I don't know. I've already said last night, I've kind of dipped out of this whole thing. A lot of people in that entire front are all toxic. A lot of people are getting manic. I've had to step back from personal friends because of that. It's just getting a little bit on the wild side. And there's a lot of conspiratorial stuff going around, a lot of weird accusations going around. And I'm out, dude.
I really wish that people wouldn't get so invested in their escapist fiction. But the problem with YouTube and this whole dynamic is that people's bottom line is literally on the fucking line, right? Like how they make their money for a lot of people. So it's in people's best interest to be outraged. And I've talked about that a million times, but that's what it keeps coming back to, right? It's really fucking sad because it doesn't just influence those fucking, creators. It influences their audience to think the same way.
I know. I absolutely agree. It's why I kind of thought where my place is in the whole situation, and I'm like, okay, where do I stand in all this? Because I've been blocked by a lot of Snyder Cut fans because I've been antagonistic, and I'll fully admit that. But a lot of other people as well who were kind of on the fence or whatever, I've been messaged by a lot of people, and they're like, look, I really appreciate you talking about this from a realistic perspective, and that you're not trying to sell us bullshit, and that you're just trying to be honest about it. They go, I may not agree with you, but at least I know you're being honest. And there's, a lot of other people that are just like, I need to keep this going. I need to keep this going. And I'm like, look, as much as I want it to be real, everything says no. And I just would rather focus on other stuff. I would just rather
Yeah.
focus on like what I want to talk about tonight, which is the whole Netflix thing, because I feel today was a big day for that one. But real quick, McLeod here with another $5 Canadian, man. Thank you, McLeod. You're kicking ass tonight, dude. I really appreciate it. Says here, Tyrone really emulates his whole image and personality off of the Hodge twins and old WWE/F wrestlers like Roddy Piper in particular, I think. And he ain't no Roddy Piper, man. But I get your point. The Hodge twins, I mean, yeah, I guess I get it. I've always found the Hodge twins to be just insufferable, but that's because I'm not a conservative, and that's just me.
You're speaking Espanol to me right now. No shit about wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know whether like, I think maybe that's why I like pissing off fans of The Rock so often.
Because you just don't give a shit about that like whole aspect of his career.
Because like every time I criticize him on that front, it's always like, no, you don't know. I'm like, oh, you're a wrestling fan. That's what it is. You're a wrestling fan who bought into the kayfabe. That's what it boils down to.
Wow.
You're a wrestling fan who bought into the hype. And I can kind of explain a little bit of that hype too. We're gonna there's something here tonight that I did bring up that I wanted to touch on, at least kind of getting into it here. And that of course is that, you know, here's a little thing from Variety. Jungle Cruise swing into a $25 million plus debut in theaters.
Oh wow.
Now, granted, Jungle Cruise is a movie that was delayed a whole year, and it is one that is currently getting mixed reviews. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it's sitting at like a 67%. And it is going to be going to Disney premiere on the same day, on Friday. So tomorrow night at midnight, the movie will be available in theaters, you know, through the early screenings. And then of course there's going to be the people that are going to want to, you know, whatever. And then you can get it on Disney.
Who's the star of this film, Matt?
The star of this movie is Emily Blunt, featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But that's the thing.
Okay.
And then the thing is too, to the movie's credit, there's her brother character, her brother in the movie, comes out as gay at one point in the movie, by the way. So there's been a bunch of articles about actually coming out in a Disney summer blockbuster. We're getting a gay outing that is being handled in a way that is positive. And I'll tell you this, I hate to be the cynical person on this one, but I'm like, so you're going to probably present it in a way that's easily going to be removed for China and Russia releases, and also Saudi Arabia and other parts of the Middle East. Because that's how Disney handles this representation. Yep. Instead of telling those countries to pound sand, and here's a two-spirit otherkin from the depths of Tumblr.
What?
I don't know. They should put one in there. You know, they should have a movie about like a two-spirit blogger from Tumblr who falls into a Native American fairy tale, and that'd be kind of cool, actually.
I feel like if Disney and all these massive corporations actually put their foot down, they could actually, like, you know, kind of, I don't want to say bully, but like to some extent be just like, you know, we either have this shit in your films or you don't get this entertainment at all. I feel like that tactic would work, but they're just so willing to fucking, you know, cower over and be like, no, yeah, we want that money and we're not going to risk anything. It's like really fucking sad. It's really sad because I feel like they'd make more money in the long term if they didn't have to worry about Chinese censorship.
Yeah,
and like other countries too, obviously.
Well, and other countries as well, and it's always a tragic thing. But you know, with Jungle Cruise here, you know, a lot of people are comparing it to Pirates of the Caribbean. If you look at just the dynamic, it's the fucking Mummy. It is just a remake of 1999's classic, The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Think about it. They have to go in search of a treasure. You have a female scientist / archaeologist, her very posh brother, and the swashbuckling adventurer.
Swashbuckling. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's basically The Mummy. Everyone's just like, no, it's like Pirates. It's, you know, I'm like, no. Compare it to The Mummy. And I adore The Mummy. I absolutely adore that movie. Oh, look, here's the thing. Jungle Cruise does look like an immense amount of fun, and I am so excited to watch it on Friday. Like, even though like I will give the Rock fans like some shit, just know I'm excited to see this movie. I love these kind of adventure films. Especially in the setting that they're in, I think where they're on the Amazon. You don't get a lot of those. You know, I mean, we had the 2005 movie Sahara with Matthew McConaughey that I loved as well, based on a Clive Cussler novel. And it didn't do very well, unfortunately, so they didn't spawn any sequels. But like, this is something that I've been looking forward to. So I'm very excited to watch it. and I'm hoping that it gets that is pretty good. Now, before we dive into the big Netflix stuff, let me just quickly point out here: Bob Odenkirk is in stable condition. It has been confirmed today that after he collapsed on the set of Better Call Saul, the final season, due to a heart-related incident, he is okay. According to a spokesperson here, Bob and his family would like to express gratitude for incredible doctors and nurses looking after him, as well as his cast, crew, and producers who have stayed by his side. And the coolest thing about this, Annie, is that everybody out there who, doesn't really matter on the internet, people came together for Bob Odenkirk. They came together for Bob Odenkirk. They were really, everyone rallied around this guy. Everyone loved this guy. And that's good. And we want people to be healthy. We want people to be looked after. And so I just want to,
I'd love to see more of that on the internet, because I mean, he's just such a great and talented dude, but I just love to see more of that in general on the internet. Just more support of people during times of strife like that, because that's really shitty for anyone to have to deal with health problems, but I'm glad it's better.
Yeah. Oh wow. My friend actually posted a photo from the Blizzard walkout today, because we were talking about that yesterday. Real quick, I'll bring that up. Okay. My friend who works there, who I won't say his name, but he posted. He walked out. He did it, and I knew he would. But this is the walkout today. This is the employees walking out, and then good on them. Good on them for walking out and demanding change from their employer. I'm totally on board with that one. He might be a little bit mad at me because he posted. Did you hear about that Cosby room thing?
Yeah, I've been following that very closely.
And I looked at that. I looked into it a bit more, and I'm like, this is not what you think it is. But okay, I don't want to get into that fight with people, because Rich from Review Tech was streaming about it today, and I'm like, isn't that like not at all what it was? They just this is from 2015. And
it's just a very, very weird coincidence. And if you actually see the context of the text messages, it seems like maybe there was some weird things going on in that room. But the fact that it was named after Bill Cosby just seems like, admittedly, a very funny. But it seems like it was probably just a coincidence.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like Kotaku's coming out there going they were in the Cosby room. This isn't like the Red Room from 50 Shades. All right. This is not this is not like a sex dungeon. This is a bunch of white nerds hanging out in a room where they jokingly called their suite the Cosby suite, because the carpet, if you've ever been to any of these hotels, the carpet's usually pretty terrible, reminded them of a Cosby sweater. And he's also known, Bill Cosby's not just known for, all of the pudding pop, right? Or whatever. Now that's a whole new context. It puts the
oh my God. No, don't say
I'm not gonna do it. Because he's a fucking monster. So I have no love for Bill Cosby anymore, and that sucks because I grew up watching Bill Cosby.
I used to like him a lot. I used to love the fucking show. Now I can't watch it because
it's so hard to watch it.
It's uncomfortable.
It is. It's all right. This is pretty. This kind of sucks. It's I haven't watched a Kevin Spacey movie in 4 years.
The worst part about it is it's not even someone that everyone always suspected to be a shady asshole or something like that. It's just someone that for the longest time we all thought was so wholesome and such a nice guy. So you just find out that someone like that is so terrible. I think that's what really rings home.
It would be like finding out that all of those adrenochrome rumors about Tom Hanks are true.
Oh yeah,
like where Tom Hanks, he's out there and he's just sucking on the adrenochrome of a child, that kind of thing. He's I was playing Dungeons and Dragons, and the next thing I know, I'm sucking down the life essence of a child for everlasting life. That's the kind of escalation that.
Anyway, next topic.
Let's stop talking about adrenochrome children. All right, I do want to talk about Netflix here and actually bring this up because Ryan Hartwell, I was saving the super chat because I have to be very careful with a lot of people chatting tonight, which is fantastic. Now, Discussing Film has a lot of coverage over this article that was this kind of spotlight piece that went up in Variety today about Scott Stuber and talking about what's been going on with the company. And they said here that they're having ongoing conversations with Christopher Nolan.
Oh my God! If WB loses Christopher Nolan.
Oh no, they've already lost Christopher Nolan, and at this point, they've already lost Christopher Nolan. Let's be fair. So he says, if and when he comes up with this new movie, it's about can we be a home for it, and what would we need to do to make that happen? Now, there's been like that's the thing. And Ryan here brings up a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Ryan. He says here, I'm willing to bet Christopher Nolan's conditions for joining Netflix are having his movie shot on film and to make sure they're presented in theaters before headed to streaming. And the thing is, yeah, that's true. That would very much be it. It would be shot on film, put in IMAX theaters, and everything else. What you guys have to remember is, and thank you very much for that, Ryan, is that a couple months ago when Army of the Dead went to Netflix or went to theaters, it went to Cinemark, only playing like 440 screens. And it did well enough. I think it pulled in nearly $1 million when it was all said and done, which is nothing compared to the budget of the film. But it did well enough with Cinemark that Cinemark and Netflix signed a deal. And Netflix did buy the Egyptian Theater in LA. So it's not like they're not getting into the theater game. Now they bought the Egyptian predominantly in order to screen some of these movies for a week to do a run to where they can actually then report to get the movies like into film festivals, because like Cannes was really anti Netflix for a while. And they were just like, we don't want, they changed their rules after Netflix started. I think it was Beasts of No Nation got in. They changed the rules and they're like, oh, the movie has to appear in French cinema for at least 2 weeks. Eh?
Oh, jeez.
And like that was, and then that was like, everyone's like, wait, like what the, like, fuck you, Frenchie. Like, no,
you know what? Netflix treats these fucking filmmakers better. That's really important.
Yeah, I know. France is like, zut alors, ah, no. But then even now, by the way, just to kind of touch on the France Netflix connection, Netflix is very interesting in France because it's very popular in France. But what they're doing is they're putting out an actual Netflix television network, a television channel on French TV that will play curated linear content.
I don't like that.
So like Netflix without borders, watch what you want when you want, blah 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 blah. What they're doing with that now is they're like, no. It's going to be like linear it's going to be cuties 24/7. Like that's what it's.
I say I don't like the idea of like a Netflix TV channel, but I guess it's just not for me. If I guess some people like the format of being able to just turn on the fucking TV and just tune out. I don't know.
Well, now Netflix just has play something, and they look at your recommendations and they'll play something. They'll play something random.
Yeah, that's true. Well, why not just have people use that feature?
I honestly I'm kind of afraid of that feature but I'm like at the same time I'm like, but I can scroll for 20 minutes and then lose interest and go to bed.
I mean, that seems even better than curated content because that's all the good of curated content without
random something. Yeah, it's knowing my Netflix watching habits. I'm gonna go play something. It's gonna be all like, boss baby, I'm the boss.
Yeah. Fucking another episode.
I'm just gonna get nothing but Boss Baby. I'm gonna be like, all right, what episode? And they'll be like, season 2, episode 8. Like, all right, this one's okay. Anyway, so Nolan coming to Netflix is a big effing deal, because think about it like this: if they get Nolan, that would put him alongside Steven Spielberg, who at first, remember, was anti-Netflix, didn't want them going into the Academy. Didn't want their films being accepted because he wanted to preserve the sanctity of cinema. Now, all of a sudden, when Spielberg needs money, where does he go? He goes to Netflix. He signs an exclusive deal with Netflix. You got Martin Scorsese. No one wants to give Martin Scorsese money. Guess what? Netflix is like, here, Marty, take our cash. Make it rain, baby. Make it rain. They give him what he wants. He also wants these movies in theaters. They're willing to work with them. The Irishman, massively over-bloated movie. They gave him the money to do it. They want the awards. They want the accolades. They want all that stuff. You got Michael Bay and in Six Underground, right? You got that one. Although all things considered, that one maybe not so much, because this is another update that I found. Scott Stuber did say that a sequel to Michael Bay and Ryan Reynolds' Six Underground won't happen, saying we didn't feel like we got there with that one creatively. We didn't feel like we had nailed the mark to justify coming back. There wasn't a deep love for the characters or that world. And if anyone here has seen Six Underground, you know why. The movie wasn't good. We're talking Ryan Reynolds, Michael Bay, and written by the guys who did Deadpool, and the movie was not good.
How the fuck do you make that happen?
It's the script. The script, it was like, the thing was, okay, so the reason why I think the script was terrible, and I love Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, the guys who wrote it, But they did the same thing with Six Underground that they did with Zombieland. Zombieland was originally meant to be a TV series.
Mhm.
And then they turned it into a movie. They were able to cut it into a movie. Like, hence why they had like Zombie Kill of the Week and things like that. And then this one, you can tell, was also meant to be a movie because so much of this film was spent in like they did flashbacks to like, you know, how he assembled the team, and it just took up all of this valuable time that like you didn't care about any of it. And even though the talent was there and the movie was fine, but it just was, it felt soulless, and it just like the action scenes weren't the greatest. And it just, by the time it was over, I'm like, oh, thank God it's over.
It's always a problem when the talent is all that's there, and I feel like, especially with names as talented and entertaining as these, that I could see them just falling into the, well, we got these two people who are really entertaining, so that should be enough, right? It's like, no, you have to have more than just talented actors to make a good film. You have to have a good script.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, I think this was meant to be a show that they cut down into a movie, hoping that they would then be able to expand into something past that. And clearly, it didn't happen the way that didn't happen that way at all. So that is the unfortunate thing there. But of course, that is just the reality of Hollywood. But then also going forward here with this whole thing, they talked about Scott Stuber admitting that they have been inconsistent with releasing films that have long-lasting conversations. And that is something that, what do I talk about? I talk about that all the time. That they pump and dump a lot of this content, that they don't do enough to influence the conversation surrounding this content, to put more eyeballs on it. So he says here, we have to be more consistent at making these movies more culturally relevant and putting them in the zeitgeist.
That means being smarter about how you put them out.
It means being smarter about how to put them out, and then also choosing which films. But looking at the ones that Discussing Film here picked, you have Extraction, you have The Old Guard, I don't know the cowboy one right there, but that's Jonathan Majors, Kang from Loki. And then you got the new Leonardo DiCaprio, Adam McKay movie that is going to be coming to theaters later on this year. They are doing, I think, they're doing a couple week release of that, I think. And Extraction, they're working on Extraction 2. I know they want to build that out into a world. With Army of the Dead, they want to build that into a franchise. Rebel Moon, they want to turn that into a franchise. Looking at where things are right now with the talent that they're bringing into the mix, you can easily tell that they are trying to establish franchises that they do not have to pay licensing fees for. And they're going to allow these creators to go and create the content that they want to make, because that's going to be something, that's just going to be all that one. Real quick though, I want to get to this Command Unit 60 shekels. Thank you, man. Going back to what we talked about with the LGBTQ situation. I guess you guys were really in on that combo. It says in Israel, the plus is written kind of like this, showing an upside down T, because the Western plus is basically a cross. Here is another form-fitting version. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I mean, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, I guess so. Thank you.
I didn't know that. That's blowing Annie's mind here still. at least the two pluses. All right, and then Andy here with the €6. I'm so bad with, I gotta learn what those things are. Anyway, he says here, I don't get it anymore. It's not that difficult to understand. HBO Max needed content for the service, and Snyder Cut was there. Let's move on. Oh, he's talking about the Ayer stuff. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they, to kind of, I don't want to dwell on it, but to quickly to kind of touch upon the point, they did launch HBO Max by announcing the Snyder Cut, and then they went dead silent on the movie once it came out.
Yeah, and also I don't want there to be any confusion about what I was saying there. I just, rather than people continuing to try and bring Zack Snyder back to DC, I would rather them, if they're going to focus on something like that, focus on the Ayer cut. David Ayer seems open to actually getting that going, and it's something that could feasibly, realistically become a thing. I'd rather they move on entirely, sure. But if people feel strongly about the Ayer cut, then yeah, that's one thing that seems like it actually happened. Focus your energy on that if you want to put your passion somewhere.
Yeah. And that's what people are going to do. Just don't be toxic, basically.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This to kind of say, I do want the Ayer cut. I want the Schumacher cut.
Yeah,
I like alternate versions of films.
I do.
You know, like there's
become more commonplace.
Well, yeah, there was back in '98, Mel Gibson put out a movie called Payback, where he plays like a thief con man type guy who gets left for dead in a botched robbery, and the guy who screwed him over has protection from the local mob, and all Mel Gibson's character wants is just like half the money, which is like I think $70,000, and it ends up so he just kind of goes on this rampage to get it. And the movie, I love the movie, but the last half of that movie, or the last third of that movie, was completely redone before it came out. So they actually released the director's cut of Payback, where because it was not like completely 100% different, but it was still different enough to where like, oh wow, this was an interesting different take on this movie. And I would love to see more things like that. In the digital age, we should absolutely have access to this kind of stuff. And that's why I like fan edits, and I like to see what the fans come up with. And sometimes you get some really amazing things. I mean, we talked about this a couple nights ago. I don't know if you saw this when I don't know if you were in the chat listening, but Shamook, the YouTuber who helped do the update the Luke Skywalker stuff,
I saw.
He got hired by Lucasfilm, and it's like what's so funny was that was announced like literally over 2 weeks ago, and no one caught it. And then the day after I talked about it on this show, it blew up everywhere. Now I'm not saying that the two are connected. I'm merely pointing out that I saw something, it looked interesting, and I was surprised no one else was talking about it. And then apparently other people had the same mindset.
That's really cool though, dude.
I'm so happy for the guy. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see what he comes up with, which just means that they are planning to do more mocap stuff, facial capture, which tells me that we could potentially get ourselves maybe some other things out there. You know what I mean? We get some more Luke Skywalker, or maybe some Han Solo, or some Princess Leia.
I just remembered I ratioed this moron on Twitter who like replied to some tweet about it, and he was just like, "Oh, this is just going to be used to like make a woke agenda. Like, oh look, Mando's going to be going to like a BLM rally or something like that." It's like, get the fuck out of here. No one's gonna fucking do no one's gonna do that shit. Jesus Christ. People always make it into like a cultural like war issue. Like, be happy for a fan who's actually being brought on a Lucasfilm. Shouldn't you be happy about a fan being empowered and being brought on to like a position like that? No, you just gotta find it. No, it's woke. Everything's woke, I guess. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, interestingly enough, they were awake when they said that, but it's clearly not the same thing at all. Dad humor. Let's see here. Eric does ask real quick here. Serious question: as an old school wrestling fan, why do you give Rock fans shit? Because they believe the act. It's just they live and die on that hill. And I like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I find him to be the world's greatest entertainer. I just think that there are things that are worth criticizing, and the pushback I get from people who don't understand that kind of enthrall me to keep going with it. Because I think it's funny.
The world's great. I don't know about that.
Is there? No, I'll take that position. Is there a greater world entertainer in the greater entertainer in the world than Dwayne Johnson?
I can't think of one off the top of my goddamn head.
That's right.
I guess you're right.
But he's still not a movie star. Anyway, movies pull in more than 25 million on their opening weekend. Movie stars make more money than that. Oh.
So wait, what are you gonna do when that finally happens, Matt? What are you gonna do when that happens?
I'm gonna laugh my ass off because some people are gonna come at me hardcore. I'm gonna have people torches and pitchforks outside my door. Apologize to The Rock because Black Adam made $1 billion.
Will you finally admit at that point that he's a movie star?
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Wait, you will?
Yeah, I will. Because here's the thing with that. No one else in Black Adam has anywhere near the star quality that he does.
That's true.
Whereas Jungle Cruise has got Emily Blunt, who's fucking amazing, and I love her, as well as Jesse Plemons, who I also love. He was in Breaking Bad as Todd, and he was in Friday Night Lights, the TV show, and he's been in a bunch of stuff, and I really like him as an actor. You've got I think is it Efren Ramirez? He's also in Jungle Cruise. He's been around for a long time. I like him as well. There's other good actors that are in that movie. It's like, but the key central team is a team up. It's a team up, and a team up movie is almost borderline an ensemble, and so he needs the team up in order to be able to make it work. And so we'll see how this one plays out. Black Adam, he doesn't have any of that kind of team up. It's going to be like what fucking Noah Centineo, the guy who dropped out of playing He-Man at Sony, that's actually what happened. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see how the whole thing plays out. But I'm saying, like, look, if Black Adam pulls in $1 billion next year, I have no problem admitting that I was wrong, because it's something I do want to see the movie make money. But I'll tell you what's crazier. What's absolutely crazier is the fact that we're gonna get 3 Batmen on the big screen next year.
Yeah.
We're getting the Batman, Robert Pattinson, and we're getting the Flash with Keaton and Batfleck. So it's like, what fucking world do we live in to where we're going to be getting all that? It's crazy stuff.
I mean, do you really think that Keaton's going to be putting on the suit?
I think so, yeah. They show a bunch of concept art with him in the suit.
I know. I don't know.
If Keaton didn't get in the suit, people would be pissed. They'd call it woke if Keaton didn't get in the suit. They'd be like, what is this woke bullshit? Fucking act. Oh, Keaton not in the suit.
I mean, they're going to call it woke if Keaton does get in the suit. They're gonna be like, "Oh shit, got the suit. That's woke."
Oh yeah, and then TW brought this up. I still am trying to get to the final thing with Netflix, but TW did send me a link today. I totally forgot about this. Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I love these guys more than you guys probably ever can know. But Trey Parker and Matt Stone are currently exploring the idea of purchasing Casa Bonita in Denver.
What?
Okay. You don't know what that is, do you?
I don't.
Are you a South Park fan?
I've watched some.
Oh my god. Oh my. The show is older than you. It is older than you. So there is that.
It's always been kind of intimidating to get into a show that older.
It's South Park though. I mean, like, yeah, there's cultural references in like to when the show came out that is clearly based around that time. But oh my god, there are so many classes. You are doing yourself a fucking disservice. Go to southparkstudios.com. Every episode is free to watch. Go and fucking watch it, dude. Like
I've seen the movie. I liked the movie.
The movie is great. The movie takes place the movie came out, I think, after season 3 in 99. It came out in between seasons 3 and seasons 4. But like, you've got to watch that show. I mean, there is so much there that like you will recognize so many references to things. And you'll be like, oh my God. Like, have you ever heard the phrase, it's between a giant douche and a turd sandwich?
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's from South Park. Presidential election, 2004. John Kerry versus G-Dubs. That was from them. I mean, there's so many cultural references that emanated from South Park. You are literally like, anyway, there's an episode where Kyle's having a birthday party and they're going to go to Casa Bonita, and Cartman wasn't invited, but Butters was. And so Cartman literally fakes the apocalypse in order to scare Butters into a bunker so Cartman can go to Casa Bonita. That's how far Cartman goes to go to this restaurant. And this restaurant is a real place. And they actually will look up and see when that episode is premiering, like when that episode is going to be on a replay or something. Mm-hmm. Because if that episode replays, they know that the next day they have to have more staff on hand because they get an influx of people that are like watching it going like, hey, let's go to Casa Bonita.
Wow, that's great.
And like, so they put that fucking place on the map. I have friends of mine who have traveled to Denver and they will go like, I didn't do much else here, but I went to fucking Casa Bonita, and they'll do the whole Cartman going Casa Bonita. It's just, it's such an iconic place in regards to the lore, the pantheon of South Park and its legacy, that Trey Parker and Matt Stone looking to purchase this place is actually really fucking cool.
That'd be fucking great, actually.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to go to Denver now. That's this. If they buy it, I have to go out there and check it out because I absolutely adore that. Anyway, we got RJ joining the stream right now. Hey, RJ, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Figured I'd pop in towards the end of the stream. I
guess.
Yeah,
we're getting kind of down to the last 20 minutes only because I got the long day of going to see Suicide Squad tomorrow. But I do want to get to some super chats because
you're seeing it tomorrow.
I got tickets. It's 70 miles away from my house.
Jesus
Make
Christ.
it
But
drive.
I'm going with a friend I haven't seen in a while, and he's driving. I told him, I said, I got a hernia, dude. Going that far
You
is
gotta
gonna be a
review it
bitch.
like as soon as
Oh
you
my
see
God,
it, or
yeah.
what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm totally gonna be like, I got my man girdle. I'm just gonna like wrap up my gut like a fucking war, like a war victim, like trying to keep the intestines in. I got it. It's okay. I can
Nope.
move.
It's no popcorn, nothing like that.
I'm only human.
Wow.
Of course, I'm gonna
Okay.
get popcorn, dude. It's a fucking movie.
Well, you got a hernia though. Maybe you don't want to eat
I
it,
can
don't
eat
know.
popcorn. A hernia just means my intestines are out of where they should be. Like my intestines are fine.
What about a hernia that doesn't let you eat popcorn?
Yeah, I can eat pop. I have to. It's a large hernia, so it's like it's moving around. Like today, my daughter, my 2-year-old, jumped on me, and I wasn't prepared for it, and she landed right on it, and oh my god, that hurt. I was
It's
like,
getting a bit graphic, man.
yeah, oh yeah, no, I could get graphic. I've been eating blueberries, but anyway, we won't get into that. We won't get into that one here.
Let's not.
So I do want to quickly touch upon this one here. Command unit, another 15 shekels. Thank you. It says here, the anti-gay law in Russia just makes gay movies and TV shows be R-rated, so censoring them is a choice. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. But Disney's not going to want Jungle Cruise to be R-rated, so they're going to have to definitely do that. So that's good to know. I didn't know that. Thank you very much here. And there's been some more super chats in the process. You guys are being super awesome tonight. Thank you. Let's see. Fourth here says, hopefully Nolan's next movie is actually good because Tenet was trash.
I like Tenet. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I thought it was okay. I didn't mind that movie.
I haven't seen it yet, so I need to watch it. I need to
Just
watch it
watch it
before
with subtitles on.
That is always a bad thing. And, I have like really good headphones. I'll try it with that. But then again, I play Skyrim with fucking subtitles on just so I can still read it. But anyway, I do need to watch Tenet. I love Nolan. I really wanted to see Tenet in 70 millimeter IMAX. Because that's where Nolan does well. In 70 millimeter film IMAX, that's where he does great. That's where I saw The Dark Knight and it blew my mind. So that's what I want. But there's nothing like that around here that's, and at the time all the local IMAX theater was closed. Like the Regal around here just opened up recently. So, fucking COVID, man. So I gotta watch it on my 55-inch Samsung. There we go. Hold on. Okay, so let's see here. Benson here with 2 pounds says watching Suicide Squad Friday, won't wait for a matinee. Yeah, don't wait for a matinee. Get out and see Starro. Right, you got it. I don't know where you are in the UK, man, but like Leicester Square. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Did you guys see that? The big fucking Starro they built.
Yeah, they put up. Yeah,
They put up
really
a big
cool.
Starro up there. It looks really awesome. So I definitely I love that they're showing you who the villain is, and they're like, look, it's a giant starfish.
Yeah. How much do you think it's going to do at the box office, by the way? I think it was long range tracking for like 50 to 80, 85.
Yeah, that does sound about right. Okay, hold on here.
I'm
All
guessing
right.
about 65 to 70.
Billion?
I mean, are we talking opening weekend or what?
Yeah, opening weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to do pretty well. I mean, even with HBO Max, having it available there, a lot of people, like the thing is they are pushing the theatrical. That's why they're doing all these free screenings, because they did that with Shazam and they did that with Aquaman. They gave out free screenings early. Well, no, sorry, you had to pay for them, but they still had the early screenings, and that created positive word of mouth. And so what better way to get people to go back to the theater during a pandemic, during the Delta variant, when half the country still isn't fucking vaccinated, because, that's going to be fun, than putting on these free screenings.
Wait until the fall.
Yeah, I know, right? like they put on these free screenings and people are going to flock. I actually called the theater today to double check how many seats were there. 286, and I guarantee you they're all going to be full. And I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I will sit where I can sit. I will definitely keep my mask on during the movie, remove it just for the popcorn, and then just pray to God.
Yeah. I mean, Disney World just announced that they're mandating that you wear a mask indoors now again.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, here's the thing is they might put this out for the theater tomorrow. As soon as the movie starts, people are just going to take their fucking mask off. I already know that.
of course.
That's the thing. So, there's a lot of that. Let's see here. Benson here just says he watched Gunpowder Milkshake. Had a good time with it. Also recommends Jolt on Amazon with Kate Beckinsale. Benson's a huge Kate Beckinsale fan, so take that with a grain of salt. But then again, who isn't a big Kate Beckinsale fan?
True.
I'm a big Kate Beckinsale fan. She's like, ever since what was the first one I saw? There was something with her and Claire Danes when they like get arrested in like Bangkok for like muling drugs or something. Anyway, fourth 1000 here says, did you guys hear about Invincible getting a live action movie? Yeah, and I'm a little worried.
Yeah, seems kind of unnecessary.
You can't recreate that train sequence.
Well, what studio is making it, by the way? Do we know?
We don't have one yet. We just know that it's being produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, which does give me hope because they are the people who are behind The Boys and Invincible, the animated show.
Oh, okay.
Right, and Robert Kirkman too.
And Robert Kirkman is involved as well. So it's there's solid. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get.
That's going to be like a complete different experience in the show. That's going to try and do something unique and different, which is fine. It's just make it good.
Well, what does unique and different mean when you're taking a comic run and you're condensing it from an 8-episode 4-hour experience to a 2-hour?
Well, maybe it'll be like a prequel movie. It'll be about Nolan. I'm just saying it could be. I'm just saying it could be. It could be a prequel movie about Omni-Man or something.
Oh, people are asking about B-Stars again, Matt.
Oh my God!
How could you be a fan of Netflix and not watch B-Stars?
Because I haven't watched it yet.
Speaking of Netflix news,
because I stream every night because I try to bring you guys entertainment and happiness and joy and love. That's why.
I want you to get entertained though by watching B-Stars.
Yeah, I know.
I looked it up. The movie you're talking about is called Broke Down Palace.
That's what it was.
Do you see Netflix is they're finalizing a script, and I know only you and I care about this, Matt, for Bright 2.
Yeah, that was the other one I forgot to get a fucking thing of. I loved Bright, man.
Yeah, me too.
I love Bright, but I'll tell you why it took this long for the movie to come out. Bright was big for Netflix when it was a $90 million movie. It was their first big budget film that they'd put out, and what it was because Max Landis they bought the script from Landis during a bidding war. They paid him $3 million for this thing, and this thing came with a Bible. Landis he called this Bright his Star Wars.
Wow.
He had. I mean, we're talking because if you watch Bright, there's a lot of deep lore in that world, and it's lore I would love to see explored through like an animated series or something.
No, me too. I really think there was a lot of good ideas. I think it's unique.
It is.
I do think with a better budget, it could have been a lot better. But
I think David Ayer was going for a more grounded approach to the direction. Because he does a lot of like End of Watch and like the Tax Collector and things where it's kind of like on the ground and it's gritty, and that's kind of what Bright was meant to be. But Max Landis got Me Too'd. Like a year later, like right after that.
Yeah, his career basically got torpedoed.
It got torpedoed, and he's trying to come back. By the way,
is he?
He has a YouTube channel.
Oh God.
He has a YouTube channel where he offers screenwriting advice, and he does live streams to only a couple hundred people, but he's like super fucking accessible on that front.
Oh wow.
And but the thing is one of my high school friends who's a cosplayer. She knows Max because she used to live and run in that circle with him in LA, and I can confirm that and everything else. And we got to talking after he got outed, and I was like, "So, what you make of this Max Landis thing?" Because you never know in these situations. Like, you want to get more insight from people who are aware of it from a closer to that center. And she's like, "Oh yeah, no, he's a piece of shit." And I'm like, "Well, that fucking sucks," because I've known her for 20 years now, and I trust her. So I'm like, "Okay, well." That sucks because I like the guy's writing. I thought he was a good talent. And, and I just like, okay, so we'll see if this Cosby, Kevin Spacey situation starts kind of opening the door for people who were canceled a number of years ago to come back. And that's again, entirely a fucking thing. But back to Bright 2. I'm hoping, is Ayer the one working on that script?
No, I think it's all Brian. I don't even think he's directing it.
I know he's not directing it, but I thought he was working on the screenplay for it. Maybe it's been so long they gave it to somebody else. But I mean, I like. Not only that, there's even another Netflix movie. It's starring Will Smith, and it's called Fast and Loose, and it's directed by David Leitch. or Leitch, who did Hobbs and Shaw, and he did co-directed the first John Wick.
Yeah.
And so, and like Atomic Blonde, and he's done a bunch of things. Deadpool, too.
Yeah.
And so they just bought that one where Will Smith is playing like another action hero type character. So, I mean, look, like I said before, man, Spielberg, Nolan, Snyder, Scorsese, Michael Bay, they've got multiple Will Smith projects that they're working on. Netflix has the money. They have the money, and they are definitely going to be flexing it in a way that's going to make look a lot of these studios. They're going to have to bend the fucking knee. Did you guys see the thing? I think it was yesterday or today where a report came out saying that Universal is currently working a deal with Netflix, and they're close to finishing it, to where they're going to premiere Halloween Kills on Netflix 3 weeks after the movie hits theaters.
Are you serious?
I read that today. Yeah, I read that today.
Wait. Why would they do that and not do that for Peacock? They have
Yeah,
their own
I
streaming
know.
service.
I know. What in the fuck? And Universal also just, again, they bought the rights, $400 million for the Exorcist trilogy from David Gordon Green, who is also doing the Halloween trilogy. And I'm like, well, does that mean that they're going to work this deal with them and Blumhouse, and then the Exorcist movies are just going to go to fucking Netflix as well? And
let's be honest, fucking Peacock's going to go flaccid. That thing's not going to last long.
No, yeah, well, no, I think they're going to combine with Paramount Plus. Like, yeah, I feel like they're going to have to, like, because the thing is, Universal and Paramount have a fantastic library. They have a fantastic library of content, and they got to compete with Netflix, and they got to compete with Amazon, and they got to compete with Disney. And Disney put out that thing yesterday, the streamer, which was a funny little commercial, by the way.
Oh, Dave Bautista.
Bautista, yeah. And they put that out and talking about the bundle, because they're pushing this bundle. And so really what it boils down to here is, like, look, the top two people are Disney and Netflix, 100%. And Netflix right now, their only competition that they have to worry about is Disney Plus. That's it. And this is why they are trying to secure franchises that they can branch off and do TV shows and movies and put in theaters and do all that stuff. And then also probably put them out in a faster turnaround rather than some of their other shows like fucking Stranger Things, which, which is now in this position. And then the final thing I wanted to touch upon here, and then I do see the super chats and we'll get to them. I am sorry, you guys, is that Netflix is going to be requiring all cast members in the United States productions to get COVID vaccines. And
Netflix went woke.
I'm 100% on board with this. I'm 100% on board. That's just my take on it. I'm pro-vaccine. You guys may not be, and that's entirely fine. I mean, we can always have that conversation. I know a lot of
talent's very in support of this because they want to feel safe and secure all on set.
Yeah, so. No, absolutely 100% that they want to be in on it. And so it's that whole notion of just like, fuck, man, like this is going to be something that I'm okay with this. And a lot of other people aren't okay with this, but I'm okay with this. And I think we're going to have to get to this point because people are going to, look, not to get too political, but vaccine passports are probably ultimately going to be a thing. So that's, I'm going on a cruise next year and I'm going to have one. I'm going to have proof of my vaccination in order to prove that I can be on the boat for a week, and so and then even then by next year, like there could be booster shots, another variant, who fucking knows, but to keep safe, I think this is probably the best course of action. And I've also been pro-vaccine and that's caught me in some trouble with some people, but whatever. But with Netflix, I'm very excited to see what they're doing with this. And in my mind, when I say they're king because they're the ones that are pushing forward in a way that is leaving everyone other than Disney Plus behind. What does Disney Plus have? It has Star Wars and Marvel and all their animated stuff, and that's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. But again, originality
with a lot of followings.
Yeah, and they have a lot of good creative people there.
It's almost all derived off of franchises.
It is, but then again, look at how much we love fucking Loki.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. But...
and like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, they can nail it. And that, again, if they can do the franchise stuff, but treat it as being interesting and unique, that's going to be the big thing on this.
What's going to happen with HBO Max, though?
HBO Max is, I don't think it's going to survive, if I'm being honest. They have a great library. I don't look here. I keep saying this and I stand by it, and I will happily be proven wrong. And I know William would love to disagree with me on this one, but David Zaslav, when he takes over, is not going to invest in the content that I think a lot of people out there are thinking he'll invest into.
I think
He's going.
I feel like HBO Max should be mismanaged to all hell and back, and just because of like the access to what they have, I feel like they could still be successful on some level. You know what I mean? I don't know.
130 movies are leaving HBO Max this month.
I saw Joker's leaving on August 5th or something.
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't get some of these films. A lot of these films they own. Why are they getting rid of them?
And it's just like they get rid of them and then they bring them back and then they get rid of them and they bring them back. Are they creating a false demand?
I hate that.
Like, it's just, I'm like, okay, like Mad Max Fury Road is leaving. I'm like, okay, well, I have the Blood and Chrome edition on Blu-ray and I think it's out on 4K now, which I do want to pick it up in 4K because I fucking adore that movie. I'm like, all right, I'll just go watch it on, I'm paying $15 a month for this service. The movie that was on there is no longer on there. I own it. Why am I paying $15 a month for it? That's kind of where I'm at now, is like the consolidation process is starting to happen. I'm like, I pay for Hulu and I pay for Disney Plus, but I'm like, I barely watch Hulu, but I have the ad-free version. But I know Hulu. Like, why fuck Hulu?
It's like, it's not, I don't know. I increasingly, I feel like there's not much compelling on there compared to like the other streaming services. I used to like Hulu, but these days.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I watch a lot of Bob's Burgers on there. Like we watch Bob's Burgers.
That's true. Bob's Burgers is on.
I love Bob's Burgers. We're already on like our fourth watch through of it right now. We just watch it. We do an episode or two over dinner, and by the time we get through it, like I've already seen it. But like my girlfriend's like, I don't remember this episode. I'm like, all right, cool. It's first time for you, and I've already seen it 1,800 times. But anyway, there's a lot of super chats to get to, especially, wow, I just saw a very generous one there. Benson here, £5, thank you, says, what they do to Mel Gibson's feet in Payback still impacts now. Matt, Warner Brothers must regret releasing the Snyder Cut every day after the behavior of the Restore fans. I don't think they regret it. I honestly don't think they regret it, but I think that they were prepared for this. They didn't buckle to pressure and release the information. And I think if they would have buckled the pressure and released it, which is what people were wanting, then it would show that they were probably either like upset or they were somehow, negatively impacted by this. They didn't. They held to their guns and they've just been silent on it, and they've just let people kind of run their mouth. And the downside to it is now people have run their mouth so much where it's cracking things, and that is, it's, again, there's a lot of conspiratorial stuff that I've seen flying around out there now that is very wild, and I don't know if any of it's true, but it's like, it's a weird situation, and it's only going to get worse. So all Warner's has to do is what they've been doing, which is nothing. So I don't think they regret it. I think that it's just a little bit different. And then another $10 here from Benson. Thank you, man. Says Zach needs to take responsibility for this, adding scenes to the cut to drive desire for more. He gave the kids too many Haribos, and they are off their heads and on sugar, and they can't come down from. I do disagree with that. I don't think Zach needs to take responsibility for his movie.
Yeah, because the movie he wanted to make.
That is what he wanted to make, and I do stand by. I love the nightmare scene that he added into it. Now, but I think what needs to happen is that there needs to be not responsibility, but maybe some accountability for where things are going. And I've said this before, and I will just quickly say it again. The idea is that, like Zach has repeatedly said, Warner's doesn't want to work with him, and they're not talking to him. And there's that. And I think that should be enough for people to kind of read between the lines. But I think he needs to come out and actively say something in order to keep people from going too overboard in their desire to see it come through. And that's tough for a fair amount of people, because they want to see it so badly and they are dedicated to it. And I mean, I think also Zach is stuck between a rock and a hard place, because at this point, how does he come out and say, I've moved on, when people are so actively raising money for AFSP, actively still trying to, help the memory of Autumn Snyder keep alive? It is a very delicate situation for the man. And I have nothing but the utmost, respect for him for what he's trying to do. I have my criticisms in how he's done a couple things. Sure.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. And phrasing on some things. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I just look at it and go, okay, like imagine being in his position. How do you tell people that it's over? You know what I mean? Like, you kind of would hope people would get the message, but a lot of people aren't getting the message.
I mean, he's all but said it. Like, you know, it's
yeah. And then because then it's like the response back is, well, Zach said he would love to come back. Well, yeah, that's, I mean, I
he's
would,
trying to be nice, and you know,
yeah, like, you know, I would like to have relations with Scarlett Johansson. That is
Doesn't mean it's
not a
gonna happen.
reality. Yeah, that is not something that would happen. You know, and I'm just saying, that like it's like, you know, I'm just using it as a very bold example.
Yes, indeed.
That's where it is. Anyway, I would love for him to come out and say it for it to be over, but you know what? I mean, at this point, it probably needs to happen sooner rather than later, but I don't know if there's going to actually be a catalyst that pushes it. Maybe people should ask nicely, but we haven't really gotten there yet. Okay, and I'm just kind of going through. There's been a few more here. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. All right. There's so much. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, there's been so many people in the chat. It just ends up, usually the chat's not this busy. The chat's super busy tonight. So you guys are awesome. Command unit here with 100 shekels. Thank you. Says, watch Major Grom Plague Doctor, Matt, or I will hire a Bitcoin assassin to force you to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I want to watch it. I was looking up some other stuff on it the other day. It just looks like a lot of fun. And it is on my list of things to watch. I just need to sit down and actually watch it. And I should. I will. Because it's it just looks, oh, did you guys see that trailer? I showed it the other night when Command Unit first brought it up.
Yeah.
It looks like fun. It just looks like fun. So I will give it a watch. Definitely, man. Thank you again so much. Okay. Let me let's see. Matt here is stealing my Kate Beckinsale joke.
You're a joke thief, Matt.
I'm not. Do I look like Carlos Mencia?
I was gonna make that joke, but yeah, everyone else already did. So
yeah, or do I look like Amy Schumer?
Okay, there you go.
There we go. There we go. Anthony, I'm not doing Collins tonight, man. We're gonna be wrapping things up here the next couple minutes. I will check out the Lloyd Kaufman cameo in Suicide Squad. I do know where it's at in the Suicide Squad. I do know which scene it does take place in, and so that is going to be something definitely we're checking out. I'm very hopeful that I'll be able to get in tomorrow night. We are going up early in order to make sure that we do hopefully get in. And if not, I'm be super fucking pissed. So there's that. And then Geek Studios here asking the hard question. Smash that like button 100%. So I guess as we start kind of winding this thing down, guys, is did you guys hear that the Die Hard prequel got canceled?
Thank God. Thank God it got canceled.
Yeah,
it was a horrible
idea. I know. I'm all like, yeah, I'm okay with this, happening because, but the Fox Disney merger killed it, and that's okay. That doesn't mean they're not going to reboot it. Eventually, Die Hard will get rebooted because this is Disney we're talking about here.
Don't face me with that reality.
They're gonna do like a PG-13 Joanna McClane.
No.
Remake of it, and it's not going to be Nakatomi Plaza. It's going to be Socket-to-Me apartment complex.
I am really, really hoping that Deadpool 3 shows Disney the value of an R-rated film. Maybe it'll make them budge a little bit on that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Benson, you're asking if I sent RJ that photo I sent you. No, I haven't sent it to him yet, but I will send it to him tonight. Benson sent me a funny newspaper clipping from the UK, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
Let's see here. Rational here says, Matt, you want a screening to Venom? There will be carnage. Sure.
Yeah, I signed up for the test screening thing. I haven't got any emails yet, though. Sadly, I live in a bad area. There's not a lot of stuff near me unless it's like Atlanta. So, yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is like everything is up in Seattle. So that's like, because where I'm going tomorrow is literally north of Seattle. So I have to go through the city. I'm like, really? You fuckers are wanting me to go through the city at rush hour traffic? You guys are terrible. You're terrible. But I might have actually been able to find a quicker way. This is why city street driving is really something everyone should learn about your city. Learn the side streets, because most people are just like, the quickest way to the destination is the freeway, but everyone thinks that, and the traffic is terrible. So find a way that is not going to be that full of people, and it's also really easy to run stop signs.
Yeah, listen to Smash Mouth. What's wrong with taking the back streets?
Yeah. There we go. Let's see here. Brian here says, want to know your rumors about your thought? Oh, Brian, we actually just talked about that. We just talked about the Halloween Kills rumor.
Yeah,
So-
that's very surprising to me if that ends up happening. Because again, like the Exorcist thing, they were talking about going to Peacock. That's something I read somewhere that's what they want to go. That's what they want the second and third movies to possibly like launch on Peacock very quickly after theater. So
Launch on Peacock.
listen, you laugh at Peacock, but they signed like a $500 million deal with the WWE for the
Yeah, I do
pay-per-views and
laugh at
stuff, so.
Peacock.
Does anyone still watch the WWE?
It's huge.
I do.
Is it though? Is it huge in America, or is it really big in places like China? Because John Cena can't stop apologizing to the
here's
Chinese.
thing. I think
Oh my
WWE
God.
is in a very creatively bankrupt era. They're getting their asses kicked by AEW currently, which is it's on TNT, which is actually owned by Warner Brothers. A lot of Warner Brothers advertisements during those shows, but yeah, WWE is still kicking around. It's just, I don't know. It's in a very bad place creatively. Like I said, AEW is where all the wrestling action is right now.
Oh, holy shit. An 8.2 magnitude earthquake just struck off the coast of Alaska. Ruh-roh. Because I live by a fault line that's out in the ocean. So if a big earthquake, the big one, hits Alaska region, I might get fucked. And can you hold off, please, until I see Suicide Squad, Mother Nature? Like, why are you trying to stop me from seeing a movie? Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. The Cheaper the 14 asks me, do I like Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2? The first one was cute. The first one was really cute.
Shifty Gizms, what the heck? AEW's not bad. What the hell?
AEW, I don't know what is it? American Erectile Wrestling?
It's all Elite Wrestling.
All Elite.
Isn't that like the main contender?
Yeah, but literally the acronym is like, ew. You know, I don't call it Elite. Anyway, I don't follow wrestling. None of that makes
You
any
probably
sense to me.
enjoy it. It's like a soap opera with action. It's like anime. With
No, it's just like a
action.
live action DBZ. It's a bunch of half naked men going around making noises and
Yeah.
doing over the top
Well,
special moves.
No, that's
That's
my look. Here's the thing with professional wrestling. It's super homoerotic. It is. It absolutely is. I have nothing against it. Right? Love what you love. But let's be fair. All right. It is a bunch of overgrown, overpaid, sweaty men groping each other relentlessly for cash.
But there's women too.
And they do storylines that are basically soap operas.
It's like Dragon Ball Z. There's sagas. Like sometimes bad guys turn into good guys, and
Yeah, but how do they power up in wrestling though?
okay, instead of their fucking ki, they've got like it's like you said, they're fucking sweaty.
There's
They
no
just-
real power.
Could someone
Power.
go up to the Undertaker and be like, Undertaker, what is your power level? And he's like, over 9,000.
Hey,
Oh my
they got
fucking
women's
God.
divisions too, and they got some fun stuff.
You can
No,
tell,
no,
you
no,
can tell
stay-
Matt knows nothing about DBZ. 'cause
I know nothing. I know nothing about
just like,
DBZ.
yeah, over
I know
9,000.
the meme. I know the meme. No, I remember like with ladies wrestling, Stacy Keibler is oh yeah. You know, there's I don't know any of their names because I've never bothered to learn. I just don't watch wrestling. So I'm on, you know, like I'll surf Twitter, and if WrestleMania is happening, I'll be like, here's this person and this person, and I'm all like, those are some nice looking costumes, and then I move on with my day because I don't even know.
Hey, AEW trends every night it airs though. I just got done watching the last episode a couple hours ago. Saw freaking Jericho put Nick Gage through a glass table, which is nice.
Hold on here. Skywalker. Oh God. Yeah, I saw this on Twitter. Tiffany Haddish and Lakeith Stanfield are in talks to play in the new Haunted Mansion movie. Matt, bear in mind it's the writer from Ghostbusters 2016. And it has no connection to the 2003 Eddie Murphy movie, which
That's
many of us
fine, but why don't they do
have
like
forgotten.
a serious take Haunted Mansion movie? That's a
Why?
real
Well,
story.
didn't
It's not a
Guillermo del
comedy.
Toro want to do Haunted Mansion? Like,
Yeah,
didn't
there's
he
like
want to do
as
it
an
for a
animated
while?
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like he went off and did Crimson Peak, which is basically like his R-rated version of it. I think that's
They
probably
should have
fair.
let Guillermo del Toro make his Haunted Mansion movie. That would have been amazing. There's concept art of it somewhere. It looks
He's fucking
fantastic.
great.
But the thing is, Tiffany Haddish only has one mode, and that's Tiffany Haddish. Like Keith Stanfield is an insanely good actor, and that would be good. He'd be able to bring some range to it. But Tiffany Haddish, I mean, we all can basically tell it's just going to be her running around and screaming for 2 hours, and making a joke, like, you know, like if you go and you want any Tiffany Haddish, like go watch Secret Life of Pets 2. Tiffany Haddish plays a dog. That's Tiffany Haddish.
I'm not going to watch Secret Life of Pets.
I have. Harrison Ford's actually pretty good in the movie, but you
actually care when you do the voice acting? Or no?
Harrison Ford's in that film.
He voices the old man dog.
Yeah, he plays Rooster, the sheepdog.
Okay, I'm still not watching it.
And Patton Oswalt replaces Louis C.K. and I think Ashley does a better job. Because Louis, the thing with the first Secret Life of Pets was that it was like Madagascar. It was like the first Madagascar. It was just a bunch of really pissed off New Yorkers.
Well, actually, the first Secret Life of Pets basically is a remake of Toy Story. It's the same exact story.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is so creatively bankrupt anyway. This is all Illumination.
Especially Illumination.
Just give me. Well, Despicable Me 2 was pretty good. And
I'm
number 3.
Terrified that they're doing the Mario movie.
Well, but they're doing it though. They're doing it with Shigeru Miyamoto is definitely going to have a say in that.
Oh, okay, but like Miyamoto's great at making games. He's a really bad storyteller. So like. He's stripped down Mario games multiple times in the past. He's basically had mandates put in place where it's like, no, you can only use these characters, like these very recognizable ones.
Let them be in this situation.
I can't let them do this. Can't let them do that. He's the godfather of Mario. I respect his opinion a whole lot, but like, I don't think he always gets it right with his takes on the character.
He's the Gene Roddenberry of Mario at the moment.
Yeah.
Like season 1 of Next Generation,
he's kind of like, move on. Look, I really respect Miyamoto, but he's kind of like George Lucas, and I also really respect George Lucas as well. But like, you know, sometimes I don't know if he necessarily knows what's best for his own property. I don't know, just my opinion. I really like George Lucas and Miyamoto, by the way, but like, you know,
I wish Lucas would have spent more time developing new IPs.
Yeah, me too.
Or if Lucas Arts would have actually been able to find a way to take some of the games that they made and turn those into films or animated features.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Maniac Mansion, Escape from Monkey Island.
Oh goddamn, dude, man, you're getting to me. I'm just thinking about these what ifs now.
Just what if a Guybrush Threepwood movie? What about The Curse of LeChuck?
I'd love to live in a world where Lucasfilm was like still its own independent.
What about
entity.
Full Fucking Throttle, or Grim Fandango, or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter? You know, like
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
There's so many games that LucasArts did, and like again, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis is an amazing story. It is an amazing story, and that was a very fun game.
It's really fucked up because they dissolved LucasArts just to like. Later, I believe it was just last year they made Lucasfilm games.
And they did that predominantly in order to I think they went to EA.
Yes.
And they're like, "Listen, bitch. All right, we're tired of this Battlefront 2 shit that you've put us through for a couple of years now. You've done good. Fallen Order is doing well, but we want to expand. And they probably bought back some of the they probably paid EA some money to like get out of that exclusivity contract. Because then they went over to fucking Ubisoft, or no, who was it? Whoever is doing the new, the people behind, who's doing the new Avatar game? It's like
Ubisoft.
Well, it's Ubisoft, but it's like Motive. I think it's Motive or.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a studio that kind of
it is a studio that is owned by Ubisoft.
I remember it being a studio with a bad representation. What?
Oh, okay. No, it's Massive Entertainment. They did the Division 1 and 2, and I like those games. So like for a looter shooter, I think they're a lot of fun. And I happen to like the world building that they've done, but they also are doing the Avatar game that they showed off at E3. And we found out that when they were pitching that Avatar game they were pitching that to Disney, because Disney does own the rights to Avatar. because of Fox, and they had also pitched using the Snowdrop engine as a way to do a Star Wars game, and that is what they're also working on as a Star Wars game now. With Massive, I think if it was like Ubisoft Montreal, I'd be right. I'd be a little bit on the iffy side, but with Massive, I think they can put out a pretty decent product, and I would like to see what they do with Star Wars.
Massive studios.
There's also, I mean, like that Avatar game looked pretty dope. And look, I'm telling you guys this right now, and I think you guys might even agree. Do not bet against James Cameron. We are going to get so much Avatar shit in the next year. They are going to do everything they can to rehype that brand, and to find a way to push Avatar 2 above Avatar, which is still right now currently the highest grossing movie ever made.
You know what? I'll believe it when I see it.
Now, Lord Sluck here does say, for one, yes, I agree with you. Leslie Jones is better than Tiffany Haddish, and I'm not a big Leslie Jones fan. But Lord Slug here says Battlefront 2 was great. What the fuck? Battlefront 2 was great now.
After they fixed all the problems.
After they fixed it. I will say Ewok Hunt is fucking awesome. I love Ewok Hunt. They've done a lot with Battlefront to make it great, but it started off with, like, if you don't remember the drama that originated on Reddit with loot boxes back in the fall of 2017.
That was some definitely justified nerd rage.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think I was more like on Dice's side back then a little bit because I like Dice, and it's, you know, I don't buy loot boxes no matter what anyway. I don't ever pay for them. So for me, that never even really like mattered.
Oh, that's a bad take, Matt.
What? No, I'm not a fan of loot boxes, but I also am like, I also fully support the concept of, I don't know, parents locking up their fucking credit cards.
I mean, yeah, but
that's an idea.
You acknowledge like the issues with them, right?
Loot Crate is gambling. Okay, loot boxes are gambling. That should not be something accessible to children. I agree with that. FIFA is a huge fucking issue with this. Madden is a huge fucking problem with this. And that is something that they did, you know, that they have gotten like raked over the coals over. And I am glad that people took this loot box situation and was able to turn it into something that I think even like the government of Belgium was like, hey, you know, like, you guys can't do that. But EA is, you know, they turned it around and they did a good job. And now I'm wondering what's going to come out of this. I think we are going to get a Star Wars Battle Royale game. You know, I mean, imagine if they did like, you know, Warzone. What if Activision pimps? Because Activision is going to need a lot of goodwill after what's going on right now. So I could imagine Activision going to Disney, going like, look, man, we'll give you like X amount of money for fucking Star Wars. Let us do a Star Warzone, and we'll use the Call of Duty Modern Warfare engine, and then we'll, you know what, fucking speeder bikes and X-wings and TIE fighters.
I haven't heard a fucking peep out of Activision during this whole Blizzard stuff. It's really strange.
There's
one company.
There's not that. Hold on, Battle Angel Gaming here. Can't forgive Netflix for what they did to my show. I love Sabrina so much. That was, you know what? I mean, yeah, they should have finished it. I completely agree. I really feel like Netflix should do more with finalizing these shows.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's my biggest complaint.
And that's the thing, right? That's what originally drew a lot of people to Netflix, is that a lot of stuff that wouldn't normally see itself being finished on like network television would normally get finished on Netflix, but then they started getting in the habit of not really finishing their projects. It's sad to see. I thought it was going to be like a refuge from that shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, they've still given us more. They've still given us more than like we ever could have bargained for. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree. They should have done something to make it more, you know, more, I don't want to say accessible, but it's like, you know, work a deal in where it's like, okay, if we do 3 seasons and then we do a finale movie or something, or like lock in these showrunners to tell a story in only a couple seasons, like start playing up the limited series shit.
Well, you know what I'm worried about if they start doing that is that they'll eventually get cold feet if it doesn't perform well enough, and then they'll just be like, well, you know, even though you planned all this, you put in all this effort, and we told you to put in all this effort, fuck you anyway. Like, inevitably that's going to happen because, like, what if that happens and just, like, a show deserves to flop? You know what I mean? What if it's genuinely a bad show and then Netflix has, like, the Netflix requests, like, oh, yeah, have it all sorted out, 4 seasons. I don't know. I feel like that could be really potentially like kind of fuck over a creator. Give them expectations that they might not necessarily deserve. That makes sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see the issues that could come with that, right? Like,
No, there's a lot. There's a lot that they could do. It's all, and the thing is, but again, it all boils down to, to money. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
exactly. That's the thing, right? Yeah.
So we're
I
gonna
don't
have
know.
to. Yeah. Hey, what's up, H Barts? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, H Bards?
Coming in
man?
at the very end. But I appreciate you anyway, man. Thank
He's a
you very
good
much.
dude.
Yeah, Yvonne here says here, like Lucifer's sixth and final season on Netflix. They saved Lucifer. They weren't even. I don't even think they were going to give it a final season. They were just going to give it season 5, I think, and then they also opted to do a final season for that one. And there's nothing wrong with, like, do more of the stuff. Allow shows to actually go out and to end, because I've been saying this forever. If you want to instill more solid viewing habits, this pump and dump method simply doesn't work. And it has more downsides than anything else, and that's a big problem.
I would like to see like more shorter shows, honestly.
Let's see. Lord Slug says, "Well, when will Jarbo review Cuties? Like
What?
Mr. Girl? No.
Who?
I'm not. No.
I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't want to know who that is.
I know Mr. Girl. I found out he follows me on Twitter. I've legitimately told that guy. He frightens me. Like, that dude, it weirds me the hell out. He is a guy. He reviewed Cuties, and he does it in this way that is so creepy. And and it's a performative piece that is meant to elicit a very specific reaction out of people, and they took the bait. And I mean, like, he got like they were flagging him left and right. They were reporting him left and right.
I looked it up. I see this like Deadwing Dork video. It's got almost like 465,000.
Yeah. And it's like, he did a song called like "I'm a Pedophile," and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and I'm friends with Vito Gasoldi, who's friends with Mr. Girl, which is how I know him. And I'm just like, why? It's like, what are you doing? I know it's performative.
Maybe someone watched too many Filthy Frank videos and thought
I think it comes across like it's a Filthy Frank thing, and I'm like, oh my God, like, you guys, man, I know what it is, but I try to avoid him.
Even Filthy Frank moved on from being
there's a certain line Filthy Frank will cross. But no, I will not be reviewing Cuties. The movie doesn't interest me in the slightest. It is. I mean, and the thing is, like, look, I understand from like an artistic perspective what they were going for, and I like the criticisms of how Islam treats women, and I think, because I've always been a vocal advocate against that, and I get that's a big, but there's like
definitely marketed in the most tone deaf way possible.
It is, yeah, and it's also exceptionally uncomfortable in certain areas based upon things that I have heard and that I've seen floating around Twitter. And it's not something I want. It's not something I want in my brain. It's like, I haven't watched a Serbian film. I just don't want to. I like gory movies, but there's something about the concept of a Serbian film that just doesn't interest me. And I think a lot of it has to do with, like, when I was heavily on 4chan for a number of years from the mid 2000s and onward, I saw shit that every once in a while creeps back into my head, and it's not things that I'll ever forget. And it's truly violent and repugnant shit. And it's not something I ever want to, I want to see again, and it's like, because, we disassociate because we watch movies. We're so desensitized to violence, but it's like, when you watch it and it's real, and it's like, and it's graphic, and you're like, this is not a movie. It looks faker than a movie, but it's also like just violently disgusting. And I just don't want that shit in my brain, man. Not that I can handle a lot of crap, but, like, it's just sometimes, yeah. Again,
luckily I've managed to avoid most of that shit. But.
Yeah. Like, and it's really like, I've seen a lot of fucked up shit. The one that gets me the most, though, was like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
It was, you know what? I won't go into it. It was something with the cartel. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, yeah,
Jesus
Yeah,
that says it
yeah.
all.
Yeah, and it was just like, and it was something that got posted onto B, and you click on it without realizing what it is, and it's like, well, I can't unsee that shit, So you got to be careful on that front. Music Man here says, I get you totally. H Barts here says, real violence sticks with you. It does, man. It does. All right, and then let's see here. Have I seen 120 Days of Sodom? I haven't. No, I haven't. Cheaper here asks, do you think the original Ghostbusters will have enough screen time in Ghostbusters 3? I think they're going to be introduced in the second act, and I think they're going to be all the way through the third act.
Probably. I think what's gonna happen is that the kids get in way too over their heads. They get in contact with their grandfather's old friends. They come in to help the kids save the day and save the town, basically.
Yeah, I think so. And it looks. I watched. Did you guys see that that McKenna Grace reaction?
No, I did not know.
I posted it on my Twitter. McKenna Grace, who is the girl in the movie, she actually hadn't seen the trailer yet, so she did a trailer reaction to it, and it's really heartfelt. I said I have it on my Twitter, and I'm like, call it fate, call it luck, call it karma. If you're having a bad day, just watch this reaction, because she's genuinely excited for us to see that movie, because she was genuinely excited to see the outcome of her labor. And that makes me so excited to see this film.
No,
So
yeah, totally.
I think so. Have I seen I Spit on Your Grave? No, I haven't. I have not seen that yet. H. Barts here says, ever seen Cannibal Holocaust? I haven't, actually. I haven't seen it.
Just watch the Cinema Snob reviews of these movies. He's probably covered them.
Doesn't he want, but doesn't, that's the bald guy that sits in the chair, right? He's the one from Channel Awesome.
Yes.
He's got a Pornhub page.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe it's because he uploads the reviews uncensored is probably what it is.
Well, and I think doesn't he actually review porn there too?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know how you would review pornography. I could probably
That's been his gimmick for the longest time, man.
Really? I don't know. I don't watch. This is the thing.
That was so his gimmick and the midnight screenings that he did.
I was a huge fan of Channel Awesome back in the day.
I never was. I've never found Doug Walker or Linkara to be even like remotely interesting.
And I used to watch them all the time.
And then you grew up, and then you realized
then I grew up.
better people out there.
Then I grew up, and I started watching more interesting people like Matt.
Some people might disagree with you, but I appreciate the compliment. I think, look, I mean, I'll tell you this, like, I don't watch a lot of, like, I think because I like to have my own opinions not formulated by somebody else, I try not to watch a lot of reviews until after I see something, and then I want to see what other people say about it. But because sometimes something can influence you. As much as I think Razorfist is like a moron, his review of the Force Awakens did help me, view the prequel trilogy in a whole new light, because he explained it in a way that I saw from his perspective, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went back and I rewatched the prequels, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I see this now, and I had a deeper and better understanding of them and appreciation. And I think that can be something that comes out a lot of criticism from film. But if it's an honest actor, and even though Razorfist in that moment was still effectively in character, it was an honest representation of how he truly felt. And you can tell that when you watch things like from Red Letter Media, I don't view any of that as being honest. I just don't. I don't view any of it as being unique or being, honest or sentimental. I look at it as just being, how do we shit on this movie? Same with CinemaSins. Like, how do we shit on this movie? And I'm sorry, 15,000 people work on a lot of these movies, over that. You see that little number, that little thing at the end, this movie was worked on by over 15,000 people. And you think, and you're like, how the hell is it that many folks? And then you look at the credits and you see all those names, and they all added a piece or a part to it. What you just saw was a culmination of the dedication and maybe years from a team of people that want you to see this product. And just to reduce it and to minimize it and to dismiss it as quickly as these no talent fucking idiots do on this fucking platform drives me up the wall.
Sure
like
does.
I criticized fucking Space Jam because it looked like ass from the get-go, but I still sat down to watch it and I still gave it an honest try. And there are things about it that I thought were okay, but I still think LeBron sucks. And there's that. And it's like, but I can back it up now with an opinion that I've seen it. Not like I didn't, I wanted to like it, but it didn't interest me. So yeah, there's anyway. Oh my god. Oh my god. Pure Taboo has the best. Shut up. Shut up, Mike.
All right.
Shut up, Mike. We're not doing Pure Taboo. But I'll tell you what we are doing, guys. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're currently 1 hour and 59 minutes, and I got to get to bed.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a fun conversation. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out and having a good old time tonight. Well, I don't know if I'll be back on tomorrow night. If I do, it will probably be after midnight and will be a short stream because I'll be very tired. But I will be going to see Suicide Squad tomorrow and providing you all with my opinion. Be sure to check out Underhaven here on YouTube to check out Annie's content. And of course, Resident Justice is doing a lot more live streams over there, covering the hottest news of the day.
Yes.
And a really good panel, actually. I was on the other night talking about some Snyder stuff, drama stuff, but it was a good panel of people, a good conversation, and I highly recommend these guys. Check them out, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a great day. Thank you again, and peace the hell out.